I have something for you.
It's a book.
This one is quite rare, actually. The book is by Shartan, the elf who helped Andraste free the slaves. You know about him, right?
Of course I know about him. What do you take me for? I certainly didn't learn from books, though. Do you think they teach slaves to read?
You haven't been a slave for years.
And? Am I not learning your ways quickly enough to suit you? Ugh. Ignore me. You are not responsible for my deficiencies. I do appreciate your gift. I've always wanted to learn more of Shartan. Perhaps this is my chance.
You know the Tethras family businesses are registered in your cousin Elman's name.
You don't say.
But I can't find any record of you having a cousin Elmond.
I'll introduce you sometime. He's a little on the shy side.
Varric, he's imaginary.
Which makes him a much better head of the household than I am. He never misses the Merchants Guild meetings for one.
I see Torlin's back again to set up a...
Forgive me, Your Grace.
Which chases off suitors faster.
The Maker blessed us with minds and a conscience.
I'm sorry.
I'm not the one you wronged.
I thought it would end here. Young Master Hawke destroyed Flint Company. None remain. Yet, now that I know who sent them, it's harder to see their deaths as justice.
Death is never justice.
Hawke? We were just talking about you.
Saying good things, I hope.
Hawke asked diplomatically.
You know I hate it when you do that.
Hawke muttered in an angry aside to the dwarf.
If, you two have a moment, I've learned who hired Flint Company. The Harrimans, a noble family of Kirkwall. They were my parents' allies. It's hard to believe they betrayed us like this.
I think I've met Lord Harriman.
Lord Harriman used to be a good man, but he became rather strange in his dotage. He died some years back. His daughter took over the family, Lady Johanne Harriman. They say she's become quite reclusive of late.
Any idea why they turned on you?
Money? Power? It's hard to say. Lady Harriman was always jealous of my family for being royalty when hers were mere nobility. But I can't imagine that pushing her into outright murder.
Is there any peaceful way to resolve this?
If you treat the Harrimans like those mercenaries, you could start a war. Go carefully, Sebastian.
I must speak with Lady Harriman and find out what drove her to this madness. But I am the last of my line. I should not go alone and make myself a target.
If I'm standing beside you, that should make her think twice.
Again, your interest in my plight humbles me. If you like, I can travel with you until you confront Lady Harriman. Otherwise, you can always find me here in the Chantry.
I cannot fault Sebastian for wanting to know why an old ally would turn against his parents. But I fear he's too impetuous. He may do something he regrets. Please, go with him, try to restrain him. If the Harrimans are guilty, they will receive justice from the Viscount. Sebastian need not take their punishment into his own hands.
What is the Chantry's stance on the Qunari presence here?
Would it help anything for us to get involved? Or is it more likely to light the kindling? If the Qunari act against us, the Templars will defend Kirkwall. Otherwise, we guard ourselves best by waiting.
How long have you been Grand Cleric?
I became a lay sister here when I was only a girl. My parents died of fever, and I was taken in by the Chantry. Eventually, I took my vows. After I had served for some time, the revered mothers agreed that I should travel to Orlais. The Divine herself appointed me Grand Cleric of Kirkwall. That was near 30 years ago.
You knew my grandparents?
I dedicated your mother into the Chantry. She was a beautiful baby. Your grandmother was a very proper lady, but she was beside herself that day. And your mother put a fist in my eye.
I'd always welcome your benediction.
Andraste, guide your steps in this difficult time.
You're incredibly talented, Meryl. I can see you were meant for great things.
Thank you.
But you're stupid.
People talk about
I'm
the
sorry,
circle
what?
like it's a prison.
Don't you think it would be better to work on where you are now, instead of recreating old glory?
No, that's kind of the opposite of what I've been saying. I'm the stupid one. Whatever. Your armor is very shiny, Sebastian. Doesn't that make you an easier target?
The light of the Maker is my armor, Meryl. I'm not afraid.
Maybe you could ask him to make his light less shiny? Then you wouldn't need as much armor.
That's strange. The door's wide open, and not a single guard posted. This is not the Lady Harriman I remember. There is something very wrong in here.
More! You lazy son of a bitch! What's taking so long?
Flora?
Why does no one in this house care what I want? More wine, or I swear I will drown you in the dregs.
She doesn't even see us. This is no normal wine.
More logs. It must be molten. You, more coins. I want every scrap of gold in this house.
Please, monsieur!
There's nothing to fear. You'll be beautiful. Pour it over her.
Don't! You'll kill her! He can't hear me.
Perhaps I should be the one.
We must end this madness. I visited this house often as a child. They could not have concealed such goings-on.
Oh! Lower. Lower.
I beg your pardon, Hawke. I did not mean to expose you to such things.
What are they even doing? The Thalanast!
No, the feather. Use the feather. Where have you been all my life? Today, I am more than a man. Come, felicitate me.
He has no idea we're here. I've known Ruxton Harriman my whole life. He's a complete prude.
Where's your brother? Let's ask him to join us. Now, you be the naughty apprentice, and I'll be the Templar torturer.
Not going to happen.
I'll pass.
You be the naughty apprentice, and I'll be the Templar torturer. You know what they say about a man with big hands.
Turn back. There is nothing here for you.
We just want to know what's happening.
You shall not enter.
Temptresses. We must see what greater evil they were A ruin, so close to Hightown. I remember no such thing. In the shadows, more of them!
right?
I still have arrows.
I don't think I can do that.
must give me more. Starkhaven will not submit. I put that idiot Goran Vale into the prince's seat, but the other families won't heed him. I must marry him to Flora and solidify our hold. But I need more power.
I've given you much. Your desires run deep. You've already traded your husband and your children. What more can you offer?
What bargain have you made?
Who is this? Who are you? How did you get here? Sebastian!
You were my mother's friend. How could you murder her?
Such an ugly word. I prefer remove the only obstacle between her and her dreams.
This was your idea.
I could create such desires if I wished. But it's far easier to nurture those that already exist. The desire for power is easy to find. You and your friend both possess it, do you not? You both wish to rise.
I will hear no more from you!
Let us return to the Chantry. I must pray for Lady Harriman's soul. Let us return to the Chantry. I must pray for...
Sebastian, I am so sorry is such an inadequate word. When I think what Mother made us do, what those creatures made us do.
We were friends, Flora.
It was like a cloud came down on me. All I could feel or think was what the demon allowed.
Did your mother order the attack on Sebastian's family?
She did. You know Mother, Sebastian. She was always jealous of your parents. The demon twisted that until it was all she could think of. She was determined to seize Starkhaven for herself.
Was your mother a mage? How did she find this demon?
We've never had magic in our line. Perhaps that made Mother too confident. She thought she could deal with the demon and not fall prey to it. Those ruins there were unearthed when we expanded the house. Mother found the demon inside. I think she had signed her bargain before we even knew.
Don't blame your mother. The Desire Demon made this happen.
I doubt many people will be so forgiving. If it takes every last coin my family owns, I will make reparations to everyone we've wronged. Starting with you, Sebastian. We weren't the only ones vying for Starkhaven. If you face more opposition, you have my support.
It will not make up for what happened.
No, that's true.
I'll tell you when I need you. I understand you are of noble birth.
My father was a chevalier. He had to flee Orlais when his patron was murdered.
I'm sorry.
I wouldn't have been suited for the life of an Orlesian noblewoman anyway.
But surely you wish it had been different. to be a Lady of Orlais and not a city guardsman.
Not for one moment. I'd rather kill a bandit and save a merchant's family than know the correct dance steps and which rouge is in fashion.
I had hoped prayer might cleanse me of the Desire Demon's touch, but I still hear her voice so clearly. I feel like I've bathed in filth that will never come off.
You acted honorably. Why are you ashamed?
The demon didn't lie. I used to be bitterly jealous of my brother. I wanted to be prince. Now everything he had is mine. And he lies in ashes. I keep asking myself, do I want this because it's right? Or simply to have what I never thought I could?
Aren't you your parents' heir?
I'm the youngest son of 3. My parents were rather traditional. They wanted the heir and the spare, and I was left in the cold. They put me in the chantry to prevent my competing with my brothers.
You seem very dedicated to the Chantry. You were put there against your will.
At first. But it was the best thing that could have happened. I was a wild boy, a shame to my family. The Chantry made me a man. It's odd. When I wanted to rule, I would have been terrible at it. Now that I might be decent, I don't know if it's the right thing to do.
It's the wisdom not to want power that lets you use it wisely.
You didn't feel what that demon stirred in me. It cannot be right to lead any army to Starkhaven with such doubt in my heart. I owe you more than I can say, Hawke. I will offer my service to you here before I move on.
If you want to help me, do it because we're friends. There's no debt between us.
You have a good soul, Hawke. It was truly the Maker who led you to me.
I think this is yours.
My grandfather's bow, but where did you get it?
One of the Flint Company mercenaries had it.
Thank you. It's hard to mourn the loss of a thing while my family lies dead. But I did think of it.
What's the story behind that bow?
As the youngest son, it was my place to lead Starkhaven's militia. But I never had a talent for swordplay. Too much getting hit. My grandfather said the bow is the wise man's weapon. You can defend your city without opening its gates. Grandfather said the day I could pull the string on his bow, it would be mine.
Then why didn't you have it with you?
I was 13 when my grandfather made me that promise. I would rise at dawn to practice my shots until I could hit the eye slit of a helmet from the top of the ramparts. But my parents pledged me to the Chantry before I could show him.
Were you and your grandfather close?
He was a man of the world, Prince of Starkhaven. But he had the most unshakable faith in the Maker. When my parents threatened to pledge me to the Chantry, he told me he'd gladly trade his title for a life of contemplation. The Maker ordained a place for each of us, I remember him saying. We have only to serve.
I'm sorry I never got a chance to meet them, to save them.
I know. You're a true friend, Hawke. You brought me this to remember and honor them. But if I could bring back our lowest servant by snapping it in half, I'd do it without regrets.